This film is brought to you by 4-H, America's largest youth development organization, in collaboration with Montana State University and Terrapod.
Did you like that montage? Wasn't it cool? Didn't you feel hooked in and excited to keep watching? Can you believe those clips were from documentary films? In fact, science documentaries? Films people usually think have to be boring? It doesn't have to be a Hollywood film to be creative and exciting. Let's explore what makes a good scientific documentary, and then we can apply those creative filmmaking techniques to just about any topic. In order to talk about what makes a good film, we need to understand a little bit about the history of filmmaking. When people first started making films, they filmed plays, and they used the camera as if it were a member of the audience, which meant that it didn't move. It didn't play an active role in telling the story, in evoking emotion, or in creating drama. Here, watch this clip to see what I mean. A Trip to the Moon is from 1902. Did you notice how the camera didn't move? It just observed. Now, over the years, filmmakers began to move the camera around, to vary their shots, and to add music. Now, the camera often plays an active role in the storytelling. Watch these clips to see what I mean.
Pressed to catch up with the leaders.
Do you see how exciting filmmaking's gotten over the years? Well, so has documentary filmmaking. Now we're going to look at some methods the documentary filmmakers use. Sometimes there's an off-screen narrator who shares information with the viewer, like in March of the Penguins. Other times, there's an on-screen host who invites us on a journey to learn more about an animal or a culture. And sometimes the filmmaker interacts with the subject. We call this interactive filmmaking. And many times in documentaries, you'll see interviews, which are a great way to share information. Now don't worry if you can't memorize all these right now, you'll get the hang of it. But when you go to make your own documentary, you're going to have to choose which method to use. In the next few minutes, we're going to watch and discuss some great documentary clips and the techniques that were used. Let's go.
I wanted to have some kind of world where music could have something to do with what I did. I knew I wasn't good enough as a musician. Nobody would ever pay a nickel to hear me play anything. And so what I really wanted to do is I wanted to do something which involved music. And that's why I got interested in sound and how it affects animals, because that's something I could do safely with no real musical talent.
These mountains stand guard over many secrets. Deep in some of the most inaccessible terrain on Earth lives a rare and elusive animal, hardly seen or studied in the wild. The firecat, or red panda. This film offers a unique insight into this forbidding world, as we follow the first zoo-born red pandas ever released into the wild. Will they be able to adapt and find a mate? Raise cubs of their own and survive? What does the future hold for the enchanting cherub of the mist?
I'm so taken aback. I didn't know what to do. The only thing the first reaction was to, I had tears in my eyes. I said, my goodness, my red panda is here.
Remember when I mentioned you can learn creative filmmaking by watching good science films, like the ones we just watched? In these, we learned you don't have to be linear and direct to be sciencey. Like in Deep Blue, we learned so much about the ocean just by watching, rather than hearing a bunch of facts from a voiceover. So when you go to make your own film, don't feel limited. This is where you want to be totally creative, whether you're adding music, voiceover, sound effects, whether you want to hire actors, whether you want to use interviews, whether you want to use fiction versus documentary. Just do what you need to do to find your own voice as a filmmaker and roll with it.